Well, I thought we'd start today's escape to the country in this gorgeous rural churchyard. But why and where are we? Well, join me in just a few moments and I'll tell you. Today I'm on the trail of a property for a sporty couple ready to make a new start. And it's an escape to the country first at one of our properties.
A friend of ours has got a house down here that's for sale.
We've never had that on the show before.
That is hysterical.
In over 400 house tours that I've done, that's never, ever happened.
And there's fun and games at the mystery house.
Why are you laughing?
You've seen a tennis court.
Yeah, you see? Well, today we're in Berkshire, and this is the church at Lower Basildon. And it's thought that hidden in the ground here somewhere are the remains of one Jethro Tull, not the 70s rock star that most of you are probably thinking of, but rather a man who came to revolutionise farming in the early 18th century. He was the son of a farm worker, but he hated manual labour. So he set about designing a machine that could do all the hard work for him. And in 1701, he came up with the very first horse-drawn seed drill. Not only, of course, did it mean that crops could be planted with far more accuracy, but, of course, far faster as well. What followed were a string of inventions that went on to revolutionise the agricultural landscape. Now, Berkshire's great road, rail and air links, and, of course, its proximity to London, have a dramatic effect on its house prices, as you might imagine. To be honest, they're eye-watering. Take, for example, the area around Windsor and Maidenhead. Your average detached will set you back £331,000, wait for it, above the national average. So as you can imagine, house hunting here requires some pretty deep pockets, as you can see by this little selection of what's on the market right now.
This charming two-bedroom cottage in the village of Chadleworth is on the market for £395,000. It has a wealth of original features, a kitchen with a range cooker, and is set in a mature garden adjoining open fields. £625,000 would buy you this three-bedroom thatch cottage in 3 Mile Cross. Grade 2 listed, its 17th century history shines through in its exposed beams, latched wooden doors and open fireplace. And if your wallet stretches to just under £900,000, you could be the owner of this 5-bedroom house in Silchester. Dating back to the 19th century, it boasts a dining room with York stone floor and has been updated with a conservatory.
So as you can see, when it comes to value for money, Berkshire may not be ideal. It's certainly not a place to come house hunting if you are remotely faint-hearted, but I think today's buyers have got just what it takes.
Company director Christopher and his wife Avril were work colleagues who fell in love. Married for 23 years, they now have 2 teenage children and currently live in a 6-bedroom house in Buckinghamshire, which they designed themselves. But a move to the country has always been on the cards.
The long-term plan was been going for about 10 years, so we always knew that we were going to move once the children had both finished their schooling.
We live in a busy town at the moment, and although it's a lovely town and it's beautiful, I'd just like to live somewhere with a bit more peace and quiet, somewhere quieter with a rural outlook, so you can look out and see birds and trees.
Last year, however, there was a major hitch in their 10-year plan to escape.
One of the reasons the move has been delayed slightly was that Avril was diagnosed with breast cancer just before Christmas. And we're looking forward to perhaps starting a fresh life, realising what we have and moving ahead, and a change of scenery I think will do us both good.
Yeah, it's made us realise, hasn't it? You know, we need to spend more time together and be together. Cherish the time we have together.
And they're looking forward to spending that time together by indulging in their favourite sports.
The hobbies that I enjoy most, I guess, are playing tennis and croquet, perhaps. It's always an interesting thing to do.
I'd like to carry on playing tennis, play a lot of tennis, and I'd like to, you know, get more involved with a tennis club that way. And I'm like Christopher, I'd like to play croquet. We used to have a croquet lawn, and I loved it.
They've pinpointed the Berkshire countryside as their ideal location and have some definite requirements for their new house.
Ideally, in our next property, I'd like something similar to we have now, with large open reception rooms, large entertaining areas, light-filled rooms, but with a bigger garden and in a more rural area.
If we could possibly find a house with a cellar, that would be marvellous, because I like keeping my wine in a cellar, and I think that we would be happy to take on a project or renovate somewhere if the opportunity arose.
So their demands are nailed down and they've got their finances nailed down too.
Our budget for the next property will be in the region of £1 million, but depending on how much we sell this property for, it's likely we could increase that to £1.2 million.
Well, there's no doubt that today's buyers have had a pretty challenging few months, but the good news is that I think they've come out the end of it. Avril has bettered her illness, they want to move, start a whole new chapter, and they've got £1.2 million with which to do it. My only concern is that, having designed and built their current property, will they be open-minded when it comes to viewing places that aren't exactly made to measure for them? Well, as ever, we'll just have to wait and see.
Christopher and Avril's house hunt centres on rural areas within reach of Windsor and Ascot. We've got 3 fantastic houses to tempt them, and as usual, I'll be asking them to guess the price of each before I reveal it. Our final property is our mystery house, and I think it'll provide them with a certain advantage when it comes to one of their favourite pastimes.
Well, Christopher, Avril, very nice to see you.
Thank you.
In Berkshire.
Well, we're living in Marlow at the moment, and it's really busy in the town. Want to move out more into the countryside, not necessarily too far away from our friends and our family, but just something with more of a rural outlook, quieter pace of life.
Now, Marlow may be a busy town centre, but Berkshire is a seriously busy county. We've got flight paths all over it, we've got roads crisscrossing it. Finding anywhere that is absolutely, you know, needle-droppingly quiet is quite difficult. But we have got a pretty good budget, £1.2 million.
Right.
3 properties for you to look at. Shall we?
Looking forward to it.
Follow me.
Good,
Thank you.
So with their very generous maximum budget of £1.2 million, Christopher and Avril are looking for a property with 4 bedrooms, lots of reception and entertaining space, a cellar and a lawn large enough to play croquet on. We've travelled to the pretty Thameside village of Dorney Reach, close to Dorney Lake, home to Eton College's prestigious rowing centre. Our first property is an Edwardian detached house built in around 1908, whose main selling point is that it has direct garden access to the River Thames.
Well, this is what we're going to start our series of house tours with this week. What do you think of that one?
Well, from the outside, it looks good.
Yeah.
Proportions-wise, you know, it's, as you would expect, everything's quite big, you know, it's quite sumptuous. The only issue
A little bit of road noise.
is the road noise.
Yeah.
But in terms of property, bricks and mortar in square feet,
No, it's a beautiful looking
attractive
house.
looking house, yeah.
Very attractive house.
there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
An attractive house indeed, and it's equally appealing on the inside in a very warming way. But will it be to their taste?
Right. In you come. So we'll start in here because obviously it's the thing that's going to greet all of your guests. In terms of finish, it sort of tells some of the story.
Right.
Is this what you're expecting?
No, not quite.
It's bright, yeah.
It is very bright.
Let's have a look in the kitchen. Come through here. There you go.
Well, it's traditional on the outside, but contemporary on the inside.
Kitchen's all new as of the last couple of years or so, the floor and all the rest of it.
No, it's a nice
Go for
size. I'm not sure about how contemporary I'd make it.
Bit more traditional.
I think I'd probably go for more traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does go on, and it is quite a slick job. I know that, Christopher, you're into wine.
Yes.
They'll be useful.
True, yes. I like it already.
Well, there you go. And then around the corner here, we've got a whole range of microwaves, steamers, etc.
All right.
And then down there, which leads on to quite a big downstairs office, you've got, you know, fridge, freezers and everything built in again, in something of a sort of utility area, if you will.
While Avril's not convinced about the contemporary feel of the kitchen, I think she'll be impressed by the lounge and entertaining space this house offers.
Now, in terms of sort of main living space, this is it.
I think that it works with the kitchen next door and then going out into the garden. So from an entertaining point of view, yeah, it's good. Good sizes.
Yeah, it's a good size room.
I could see us having dinner parties and so on.
And in terms of how you both relax after a, you know, hard day on the court and hard day at work, Christopher, we've got the snug next door, and of course the conservatory, you know, wends its way the other side of that, and again makes full use of what the garden has to offer. It's facing west, so you get sun for most of the day, which is quite nice.
No, it's a nice aspect out of there, definitely.
It's encouraging that they can picture themselves entertaining in here. Now let's see what they think of the layout upstairs.
Now, this is the master bedroom. It overlooks the back of the garden. Quite small windows, this. More to do with the architectural design of it, I think. We've got the first 2 bedrooms of the 4 that are here, off the other end of the stairs, which you've seen on the way up. And then this one, which is, it's master suite, but does lead on to the rest of it, although we have got, well, 3 staircases in all.
Right.
That get you up to various points in the house, so you can access all 4 independently. I mean, what have you got at the moment? I imagine it's pretty extensive.
We've got a suite, yeah. So we have an ensuite bathroom, shower room.
So is this.
Okay.
Come on, follow me through here. This is what we've got. Your, ensuite there with, again, a bit more storage and so forth. And then follow me into here, because what you've got here, Avril, which is quite handy, is you've got a dressing room area.
Right.
And again, views out there. And then this, the spiral staircase that comes out from the snug.
Right.
Right.
That arrives there.
Yes.
Come on, have a look.
There's a very unique setup on this floor, which I'm not convinced our buyers are quite ready for. The garden has socialising potential that they could enjoy straight away.
OK. Come down here. As you can see, you've got loads of entertaining space out here. The conservatory, obviously, that we talked about, that we've just come through. And then the kind of formal garden. And another view of our lovely arts and crafts house. Loads of patio areas, you can see. In terms of lawns and croquet, we've got sort of, well, 4 small lawns here.
Right.
Is that going to work for you with the croquet? I mean, it's not a tennis court, to be fair.
No.
No, it's probably a little bit too small, but it's OK.
But in terms of it being manageable, the planting is very mature. It's just a case of sort of cutting that back and mowing these lawns. I mean, the big event, of course, is the river, which is down there, which I'm going to let you loose on in a little while. The other big issue, I guess, is what we can all hear.
Yeah, there's no getting away from that.
There's no getting away from the rumble of the road, which is a real shame, because otherwise, I think it's a very interesting property. But the price is clearly going to have an influence on that. Let's have a think about it then, shall we?
I think it's on just over $1 million, maybe 1.1.
1.1, yeah.
I think I'd go a little bit lower than that. I think I'd go 995.
995?
Yep.
OK, well...
A good sign.
It's this is on the market at 1.25 million.
Wow.
It's that part of the country.
OK.
Cost of property here is staggering.
And it's on the river.
And, of course, the river is a huge, huge premium on any property like this in this area. So there it is, property number 1. It is a lot of money, but you do get the river. The Thames is right down there. Go and check it out.
Great.
Okay,
And I'll find you later.
Thanks.
At 1.25 million, this house is over their generous budget by £50,000. It is, of course, on the river and does meet many of their demands. It has 4 bedrooms, a massive amount of space to entertain, room for storing wine in the kitchen, which should keep Christopher happy, and 4 lawns, which could be re-landscaped for a game of croquet.
Yeah, very pleasant. Very pleasant. I didn't know this was here, actually. I think if I'd known it was going to be here, I probably would have suggested a bit more money.
I really, really liked the river. I thought the river was beautiful. It was a lovely surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I think you get a lot of value from there. You could definitely eat out and enjoy that, in the evenings. The road noise, I didn't think it was that bad, but the upstairs, I can't see that working for us.
I was expecting the rooms to be slightly smaller when I came in, so I was pleasantly surprised when we came in through the front door. I like the kitchen and the entertaining areas there, that's good. And I like the aspect of going out into the garden as well.
Well, there we are. That's it. House number 1 is done. Happy?
Yeah, plenty of positives. It's nice to see for the first house. A surprise on the price.
Yeah, well, £1.25 million because...
The river.
The river. There you go.
Wasn't
Big
expecting
surprise.
it.
No,
That was
nice
a
surprise. But that's why it's the money it is. But it's not the only one. We're going to show you.
OK.
Berkshire is blessed with a host of attractive and historic villages that should appeal to our buyers. To give them a flavour of what the county could offer them, earlier in the week we sent Christopher and Avril out to explore the beautiful village of Pangbourne. With a stunning position on the banks of the River Thames The village also has a popular tennis club. Just outside Pangbourne is the Royal Berkshire School of Shooting. And as Christopher and Avril want to devote more time to their sporting passions when they move, we've arranged an introductory lesson for them in the country sport of clay pigeon shooting. Today they're in the safe hands of instructor Nigel Muir.
Well, welcome to the Royal Berks. In terms of the key component parts of a shotgun, they're very simple. Inside there are 2 firing pins, one for each barrel, and that's popping forward, striking the back of the cartridge is basically what makes the gun go bang. So very simply, you brace the gun along your hip and along your forearm, give yourself some leverage. You close it nicely into the ground in front of you, into what we call the ready position. You find your cheek and shoulder. Safety goes off, and the last thing to move, your finger down to the trigger.
Okay.
Now, all I want you to do is start behind your target, tracking it, moving at the same speed as the bird. Once you catch it up, a little bit of acceleration, and having done all that, you have just put a wonderful wall of lead just ahead of it. How hard can that be?
Probably pretty hard. We'll see.
Harder than you think.
It's essential to wear ear and eye protection before you start. Live pigeon shooting from traps was banned in 1921, and consequently, clay pigeon shooting grew in popularity.
Here we go. That's a bit too far ahead of that.
The clay pigeon as we know it today originated in 1880 when the idea of the saucer-shaped target came to inventor George Ligowski after seeing boys skimming flat stones across a lake. Today, the Clay Pigeon Shooting Association numbers more than 25,000 members, and there are some 450 registered grounds in the country, which require a site of 35 to 40 acres, making it an obvious rural pursuit.
Yes!
Well done. Follow that. Fold your shoulder round, rest your cheek on the wood, and shut that right eye nice and early. Track it in, pass it there.
Oh, no!
Great shot. Nice shot.
That's more out of surprise than anything else.
So Christopher and Avril are right on target. Time to see if the next property I've lined up to show them will hit the mark too.
Now, house number 2 is down here. Do you know where we are?
We do know where we are, yes.
I do.
You do? You really do?
A friend of ours has got a house down here that's for sale.
Right.
Yes.
What does it look like?
Mock Tudor style.
Half timbered, black and white timbered.
Drive in, drive out.
So, it's a house that you're familiar with.
We've been in it a few times, yes.
Been in it a few times.
Yeah.
Would you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
Would you buy it?
I don't know, it's a long time since I've seen it.
I so hope this isn't the same house. No. We've never had that on the show before.
That is hysterical.
In over 400 house tours that I've done, that's never, ever happened.
We've travelled just over 5 miles west of Windsor and close to Hollyport, which is the nearest village for high street amenities. Our second property lies in a semi-rural setting to the west of Windsor Forest and the Great Park, and dates back to the 1950s.
Out you come, Avril. Well, I don't quite know how to start this one because this has absolutely never happened to me before. But you've been here before.
Yes. About 7 or 8 years ago, I think.
Okay. Well, it's since changed hands, so
Okay.
your old friends aren't here anymore,
No.
I'm afraid.
They've moved on.
Okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to let you do the tour, actually.
Oh, no, I don't think you know it that well.
Come on then, let's have a look.
It's a truly novel experience for me, showing a couple around a house that they visited before. But I'm wondering how much it's changed and if they still like it.
There we go. All those memories come flooding back.
Yeah. I remember it. Yeah.
Exactly as it was.
I mean, as you can see, I mean, hallway, you all know this,
I
of
remember
course.
The staircase,
Yep,
the beams.
yep.
So as we explore the house further, is this the kitchen they remember?
Very nice, solid wood, oak tops.
That is it. That's the kitchen.
This is the one?
Yes.
How funny. You could never have imagined in a million years. I couldn't imagine in a million years that this would ever happen. But it is a lovely kitchen nonetheless. In terms
Good
of
size.
a working space for you,
Yeah, it's perfectly good.
Perfectly good.
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact they can eat in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And straight out into the garden.
Yeah.
Stable door out to the garden, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the dining room. Presumably you will have enjoyed this at some point. So, has this changed at all?
No, exactly as I remember it.
But it's a good size for a dining room.
It's a nice room.
And it's close to the kitchen, which makes for great entertaining.
Yeah.
Good, OK, so well, let's take another trip down memory lane, down to the living room,
All right.
which is through here. Little playroom in there, off of the kitchen, but this is the main living area, the main event, I suppose.
No, it's a nice sized room. Nice and bright, isn't it? It's really light.
It really is. That stone fire surround looks to me quite a recent addition. I don't think you will have seen that.
No, I don't think that was here when we were here last. Definitely not.
But again, it alludes back to this sort of medieval architecture that the arts and crafts movement really sort of embraced. Yeah.
The doors out into the garden.
Triple aspect.
Exactly. I mean, just trying to kind of, disentangle ourselves from the fact that you've seen it before and your friends lived here. Can you put yourself in a position where you're looking at it as a home that might work for you in terms of space?
I didn't think I could. Not when I got here. I really didn't think I could because I knew the people that lived here and I thought I knew the house. But, do you know, it's growing on me.
I'm really pleased to hear that Avril is managing to picture herself living in this very familiar property. And there's a huge amount of space upstairs which should keep her interested, with 6 bedrooms in all. The smallest is in the loft space above, while on this floor there are 2 fairly good-sized single rooms, along with 2 very generously sized doubles. So plenty of choice for the children. But we're heading to where they might sleep.
In here, the master bedroom, which, no surprise, is above the living room because we've got this lovely fire surround which mirrors what's going on down below.
Yeah, well.
Plus also ensuite shower room and huge sort of walk-in wardrobe.
Just for you, Di.
You might have to share. Well, they've got 6 bedrooms to choose from. You could have one of those each.
Yeah, definitely.
And this great big, vaulted ceiling.
Yeah.
That's
Nice ceiling.
makes the room a lot larger than I thought it was going to be.
I wouldn't have expected a ceiling like this in a property of this
No, I wasn't
nature.
expecting that at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Quite a feature.
So, now you've had a chance to remind yourselves of what this house has to offer.
I'm wavering a little bit. I was more interested downstairs, and upstairs I'm just wondering whether we need all of these rooms.
The difficulty is, of course, is that you do get a bit more for $1.2 million than you might need, even here, in uber-expensive Berkshire, where, let's face it, it doesn't go that far.
No, maybe we don't need such a big house.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't need to spend so much money.
I like that thinking.
Ah, well, let's have a think about the money downstairs. Come on.
Thanks.
Outside, there's a terrace that would work wonderfully for entertaining. A double Tudor-style garage and a lawn large enough for them to play their games of croquet on. So if they can see themselves living here, how much would they pay for the privilege?
Let's have a think about the money. You went first last time.
Avril did.
So, Christopher.
OK, I'm going to go for 1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more. I think it's 1.225.
1.225. Interesting. It's actually 1.25. So, lot of money.
Yep.
Go and have another look around. Check out upstairs again, see what you might do.
Right.
And I'll catch up with you later.
OK, great.
Off you go.
Thank you.
At £50,000 over their already substantial budget, this property has almost everything they've asked for, with 6 bedrooms, providing plenty of space for family and guests. A number of spacious reception rooms for entertaining, and a lawn big enough for that all-important game of croquet.
This has been very interesting because when we turned up, I recognised the house immediately because I've stayed here many years ago with some friends. I love the kitchen, although it might need a bit of updating, and I certainly like the entertaining rooms. They were terrific.
I was a bit worried about it, wasn't quite sure it was the right house and everything. Came in, I really liked it. I like the entrance hall, and I like the size of the rooms. I liked a lot of things about it.
You know, sometimes trying to find people at the end of a house tour is a bit like playing hide and seek. Ah! Talking of which, here we are.
Hi, Jules.
All done?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Right then, let's get you away from it. Follow me.
Thank you.
Out into the sunshine. Evening sun. How about that?
So as night falls over Berkshire, day one of our property search draws to a close. Christopher and Avril have been planning their move to the country for 10 years to coincide with their children leaving school. They were delayed by Avril's treatment for cancer, but now she's got the all clear, they're ready for a new start. Our first two houses have certainly given them something to think about, but still to come, our mystery property has an added bonus, which is hard to beat.
I love it. I really like it.
And I'll be visiting a swan rescue centre before helping one resident return to the wild.
There you go. Nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping today is going to be more of a conventional day on Escape to the Country. I'm pretty sure that you don't know anything about our mystery house.
Good.
OK.
That's the plan.
OK.
And even if you do know, you're not allowed to say anything.
For our third house, we've travelled around 15 miles from Windsor, crossing the border into Surrey, close to the village of Ripley. Our mystery property might not be in the location they specified, but it could well win them over with a surprise bonus that they might fall in love with.
Now, come on into the mystery house. Why are you laughing?
Just seen a tennis court.
Yeah, you see. Happy?
Very happy.
There you go, look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, love it.
Gorgeous gardens.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, lovely garden.
Fantastic all-weather floodlit tennis courts.
Okay.
Yes.
And in this little hamlet here, there are, I think, another 3 tennis courts.
All right, OK.
They're all tennis nuts.
OK.
So you'll be in good company here. Well, look, let's go in and have a look at the mystery house and see what you make of the inside.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, that tennis court certainly made them smile. So let's see if the rest of the house can make them as happy.
Well, let's start in the kitchen. Well, kitchen diner, I should say. Okay?
Right. Wow, it's a big room.
It's huge.
It's a big room. That's
Absolutely
good
enormous.
size.
There's a huge utility through there.
Right.
As well.
OK.
Nice big range, oil-fired there, the granite tops, the island, and you've got the electric tops here, of course. And it goes on. I mean, you've got this area here, something of a sort of a snug, if you like, but you could see that you know, life is going to happen in this room probably more than any other. So come on, Christopher, let's get imaginative and creative with this one. What would you do?
I do like the space. It's not cramped. It feels open. Yeah, I like it. I like it, yeah.
OK, follow me.
I'm glad to see the spacious nature of this house is really working for Christopher, and I'm sure both of them will really appreciate the next room too.
Well, let's have a quick look in here. This is the dining room, currently set up. That door goes through to the kitchen as well, as obviously coming through the hallway. And, of course, doors out, and straight out into the garden. I think there's been a lot of entertaining in this house over the years,
Right.
as you'll see when we go through to the next bit. So in terms of a party house, it's probably quite a good one.
A nice aspect out here.
Gorgeous.
Garden.
Yeah, I mean, it
Very
really
nice.
is lovely. OK,
It's fine.
follow me through here, then. Now, another sort of snug, more of a dedicated snug.
Right.
More of a
Yes.
sort of club room,
Yes.
Yes.
I
Feel like-
suppose,
Yeah.
Yes.
in a way. And again, the whole thing, as I say, has been extended in so many directions. It goes on through here.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, your own
Right.
bar.
OK.
Yeah, and I suspect you would probably take it out and turn this into more of a family room again.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless you want to run a bar. I mean, there you go.
It has a slight attraction to
Yeah, well, yeah. No. And of course, it opens out onto this very, you know, private patio area as well. So, and there's a little barbecue area out there too, and also a wine cellar.
It's great size. Wow.
A wine cellar.
You see? I was just waiting to see if that dropped. Yeah, absolutely. There's a little wine cellar for you. Well, space and scope.
Space and scope.
That's the theme of this one, I think. OK?
Yep, great.
Right then, let's have a look upstairs.
Okay.
Well, the bar room certainly caught Christopher's imagination, and the wine cellar was another unexpected bonus. Upstairs, this house is equally sizable, with a family bathroom and 6 bedrooms, 3 with ensuite. So there's plenty of space should their children and their friends all want to visit at once. But we're heading for the main bedroom.
So amongst your 6 bedrooms, we've of course got you a master suite.
Right.
And you're used to suites.
Yes.
I mean, certainly floor areas, lots of room around the bed. And
Yeah,
things.
space. Yeah.
It's a big area.
It's not. It doesn't feel cramped or claustrophobic even for me, so...
OK,
yeah, I
good.
like it.
Well, the ensuite's pretty generous too.
Good.
In here. It's a nice big roll-top bath there. Shower, of course.
Nice bath.
And his and hers basins.
It's huge.
It's not bad.
No, it's a big bathroom, isn't it?
And you really are in your own little world in this. Now, on the top floor, there is one more bedroom and also a sauna
Right.
and a steamer.
Right.
Okay.
OK? I'm going to let you explore those a little bit later on.
Okay.
Right.
But I think now we should get out into the garden,
Yeah.
back to the tennis courts,
Yes.
Okay.
and really sort of start to draw this one together.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing the garden.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
good.
Right, follow me.
Thank you.
Well, they do seem genuinely enthused by this property, not least because of the tennis court, and I'm sure they'll see the terrific entertaining potential of the acre of gardens, big enough to hold a croquet tournament on. But what do they think it costs?
Let's have a think about how much it's going to cost you.
Right.
So, Alfred?
1.2,
1.2, yeah?
maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more?
I'm going to go around the same price, I think. Yeah, 1.2.
1.2?
Yeah, top end of the budget.
It would be absolutely the top end of your budget.
Yes.
And it wouldn't leave you much left over to make a few adjustments, which clearly you would want to make. So, the good news is that it's not 1.2,
Okay.
it's 1.15.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the other reason I like the Mystery House,
Yeah.
is that it's the cheapest one we've
Okay.
been able to offer you so far.
Right.
So, go and have an explore. I'll catch up with you later.
All right, brilliant.
Okay.
Under budget at £1.15 million, this house comes complete with everything on their wish list and more. It has 6 bedrooms, spacious entertaining rooms, including a bar, a wine cellar for Christopher, a huge lawn for croquet, and their own tennis court.
Avril, have a look at the tennis court.
Oh,
What do you think?
I love it. I really like it.
And I love the garden as well. What do you think?
I love the garden. I think it's one of the best features of the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
This must be the sauna, I think, up here.
So that's the sauna.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice big sauna.
That is a big sauna.
Yeah, I wanted a sauna.
It's an area that I hadn't considered, hadn't even thought about coming over this way, and I really like where it is. I think that's lovely. I think the garden is beautiful, fantastic garden, and the tennis court, what can I say? It's like icing on the cake, isn't it?
I was very pleased about the price. It's obviously under our maximum budget, but it still is pushing that ceiling, and I'm a bit concerned about how much work we'd have to do to make it feel as if it was our own. It's certainly the nicest house we've seen, and it's definitely the best location, and I'm really, really excited to have seen it.
So there we are, that's the Mystery House. Let's face it, it would have been right if we hadn't found you a property with a tennis court.
No, that's amazing.
So,
Yeah.
we've done that at least, but let's get you somewhere where we can sit down and consider all that we've seen so far.
Okay.
And find out what happens next. Yeah?
Good.
Come on.
Thanks.
In a county brimming with royal connections, it's no surprise that the nation's most regal of birds, the swan, has its very own protector here on the Thames in the shadow of Windsor Castle. The Queen's official swan marker is responsible for their protection and conservation. The role and unique regalia is currently held by David Barber, and I've come to meet him to find out more.
David Barber, I presume.
Yes, it is.
They said, look for the man in the red coat, and I found you. Looking absolutely resplendent, aren't you? Now, just remind us of your exact title.
Title is Swan Marker to Her Majesty the Queen. The job dates back to the 12th century when the Crown claimed ownership of all the swans in the country because it was an important food source then. It was served up at banquets, in feasts. It was very precious. Of course, today it's changed and now it's all conservation and education.
Playing an important role in the conservation of the mute swan is the ancient tradition of swan upping, which is the collecting of data, assessing the health of young cygnets and checking them for injuries. Every July, the Queen's Swan Marker and Swan Uppers travel from Sunbury to Abingdon to complete the census of this feathered population on the river.
We will lift the family of swans from the water, take them ashore, we will weigh them, measure them. And if there's any injuries on them, then they would be taken to Swan Lifeline, which is a treatment centre here at Eton, and they would be looked after there.
Here at the Swan Lifeline Centre, the injured birds are rehabilitated by staff such as Warden and Treatment Coordinator Wendy Herman.
The charity's been based here since 1993, and we're actually a rescue centre and treatment centre, not a sanctuary, so every bird that we get in, we aim to release.
You aim to release? Amazing. And what about this little fella? Was this one born here, or did you rescue this from the river?
This one was rescued because it went over a weir and it was abandoned, so we didn't know who the family, mum and dad, were. So this one will stay with us till about October, when it's fully grown, October, November time. Then we'll release it in as a group.
But what are they most at risk of on the river? Is it fishing lines and hooks and that sort of thing?
We get a lot of fishing injuries, mainly every day. It's kind of things where they leave their hooks in line on the riverbank and just walk away and leave it.
Last year, the charity rescued around 1,500 swans from the River Thames. Once the birds are fit and healthy, they're ready to be released, just like this one that I'm helping return to the water today.
Can you see the one with the white plastic ring on its leg?
This one here?
So I'll catch the swan.
OK, yeah, you're absolutely right, you will, yeah.
And then you can help me wrap it up.
Fine, OK. Off you go, then.
And pop it. Come on.
To keep the swan secured for its own safety while being transported back to the river, its legs are loosely tied and its body is then placed in a special wrap.
That one goes
over there.
OK, so just
literally pick it up and put it in there.
Oh, hello. Crikey. You're not the lightest swan in the world. Right.
That's it.
There we are. That's extraordinary. So, off to the river.
She's off. She's ready to go.
Like a bag of shopping.
Yep.
The charity's aim is to release birds back to where they came from whenever possible. So far in its 27-year history, the organisation has rescued and treated a total of more than 20,000 swans.
You just turn your head away just in case she flaps her wings, and then we just let her go.
There you go. Well, she looks pretty happy, Wendy.
Well, she is, because she's in a natural environment. She'll probably, hopefully, look around for a male.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Christopher and Avril will have a nice feeling too about their move to Berkshire as they consider our 3 properties.
Well, I'm about to go and have my final conversation with Avril and with Christopher. Now, we normally like to call this part of the show decision time, but on this occasion, I think it might be more of a confessional. Well, what can I say about this house search? It's been an odd one, as you've probably gathered. So, how have we done, I wonder? Let's have a think about the first one, by the river, with the Thames at the end of it.
Yes, really nice house, nice style of house, arts and crafts,
yeah.
Edwardian, liked all of that. You could do a lot with that. The interiors, the downstairs was perfect. I mean, used a little bit of tweaking here and there. But upstairs...
The problem for me was when we went upstairs, and then my sort of love affair, it sort of started to fall apart a bit. I was having to duck and dive and...
It's funny, because the downstairs really flowed, didn't it? It was quite an easy one to figure out, but then upstairs it was all little corridors and different levels. And
different levels, and walking through one bedroom into another bedroom, into another bedroom. It didn't flow very well upstairs at all, and I couldn't see how you could change that. But surprisingly, at the bottom of the garden was the river, and that was unexpected.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise.
If only you'd wanted a boat. We'd have been laughing with that one.
Big boats would be nothing.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't tennis, it was boats. Yeah. Well, then we took you to our second property, which you had already seen. Now, that has never, ever happened to me on Escape to the Country, but you were still, keen enough to have a look at it, even though you remembered quite a lot of it. But just being objective about it, did you get a sense that you wanted to take that one on and really make your mark on it?
I think the problem for me with that house, particularly when we went upstairs, was that it appeared to be trying to be so many different types and styles of house in one, and it seemed to have lost its way a little bit. And also, I think we decided probably there and then that maybe 6 bedrooms is probably a little bit too many for us.
But I had higher hopes for our mystery house, which I'm not sure were met, if I'm honest.
When I saw it, I just smiled from, ear to ear. The garden was just magical.
I thought the setting was absolutely terrific.
The setting was perfect.
And I was surprised at how peaceful it was. Lovely lawns, as you say.
Gardens were beautiful.
Tennis court. Come on.
Just what a bonus. I mean...
unexpected.
Yeah.
Again.
And the fact that actually it's in a village of tennis enthusiasts, I think, means that Avril would just be there all the time, I'm sure.
Well, ideal.
It was certainly the best house, definitely.
And it was the cheapest.
And that was a big surprise as well. And I can't believe we actually got a bonus of a tennis court there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was lots and lots of things there that have to make us think. And I think we didn't think about Surrey, so moving out of Berkshire, it's interesting.
I don't think we found you your dream home. And I'm not convinced, actually, that it's about finding a house in the country for you two. I think, because you've got your dream home already, you just want something that's just got a bit more space around it. And that's very different to having a country life.
I think you're probably right. I think that has really been highlighted to us. Maybe it's not a rural life that we're looking for. Maybe it's just a house with more space around it, bigger grounds.
I think that's probably it, actually. But at least we've helped you figure out what it is you do want.
You certainly have, yes, thank you.
And that's the main thing.
Thank you very much.
Well, guys, it's been a great pleasure. We wish you all the very best of luck. Who knows, maybe you'll be building again. Well, if you're a regular watcher of Escape to the Country, you'll know that we very often set out to try and find our buyers their perfect home. But what do you do with a couple that have already got it and are trying to spend over £1 million in the process of trying to change it and, importantly, get something better? Well, it's always going to be a tall order, and of course that's exactly what we found here in Berkshire and Surrey with Avril and with Christopher. Now, I don't doubt that they want to escape where they are, but by their own admission, whether they really want to escape to the country, I think that's another matter. I'll see you next time. Well, I thought we'd start today's Escape to the Country in this gorgeous rural churchyard. But why and where are we? Well, join me in just a few moments and I'll tell you.
Today I'm on the trail of a property for a sporty couple ready to make a new start. And it's an escape to the country first at one of our properties.
A friend of ours has got a house down here that's for sale.
We've never had that on the show before.
That is hysterical.
In over 400 house tours that I've done, that's never, ever happened.
And there's fun and games at the Mystery House.
Why are you laughing?
You've seen a tennis court.
Yeah, you see? Well, today we're in Berkshire, and this is the church at Lower Basildon. And it's thought that hidden in the ground here somewhere are the remains of one Jethro Tull, not the 70s rock star that most of you are probably thinking of, but rather a man who came to revolutionise farming in the early 18th century. He was the son of a farm worker, but he hated manual labour. So he set about designing a machine that could do all the hard work for him. And in 1701, he came up with the very first horse-drawn seed drill. Not only, of course, did it mean that crops could be planted with far more accuracy, but, of course, far faster as well. What followed were a string of inventions that went on to revolutionise the agricultural landscape. Now, Berkshire's great road, rail and air links and, of course, its proximity to London have a dramatic effect on its house prices, as you might imagine. To be honest, they're eye-watering. Take, for example, the area around Windsor and Maidenhead. Your average detached will set you back £331,000, wait for it, above the national average. So as you can imagine, house hunting here requires some pretty deep pockets, as you can see by this little selection of what's on the market right now.
This charming two-bedroom cottage in the village of Chadleworth is on the market for £395,000. It has a wealth of original features, a kitchen with a range cooker, and is set in a mature garden adjoining open fields. £625,000 would buy you this three-bedroom thatch cottage in 3 Mile Cross. Grade 2 listed, its 17th century history shines through in its exposed beams, latched wooden doors and open fireplace. And if your wallet stretches to just under £900,000, you could be the owner of this 5-bedroom house in Silchester. Dating back to the 19th century, it boasts a dining room with York stone floor and has been updated with a conservatory.
So as you can see, when it comes to value for money, Berkshire may not be ideal. It's certainly not a place to come house hunting if you are remotely faint-hearted, but I think today's buyers have got just what it takes.
Company director Christopher and his wife Avril were work colleagues who fell in love. Married for 23 years, they now have 2 teenage children and currently live in a 6-bedroom house in Buckinghamshire, which they designed themselves. But a move to the country has always been on the cards.
The long-term plan was been going for about 10 years, so we always knew that we were going to move once the children had both finished their schooling.
We live in a busy town at the moment, and although it's a lovely town and it's beautiful, I'd just like to live somewhere with a bit more peace and quiet, somewhere quieter than a rural outlook, so you can look out and see birds and trees.
Last year, however, there was a major hitch in their 10-year plan to escape.
One of the reasons the move has been delayed slightly was that Avril was diagnosed with breast cancer just before Christmas. And we're looking forward to perhaps starting a fresh life, realising what we have and moving ahead, and a change of scenery I think will do us both good.
Yeah, it's made us realise, hasn't it? You know, we need to spend more time together and be together. Cherish the time we have together.
And they're looking forward to spending that time together by indulging in their favourite sports.
The hobbies that I enjoy most, I guess, are playing tennis and croquet, perhaps.